We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning, Northeast Mississippi. This is Newsbreak for Tuesday, July 18th. I'm Brad Locke. Thanks for joining us. Just a reminder that you can catch Newsbreak each weekday at 7 a.m. Watch it on djournal.com, Facebook, YouTube, or the Daily Journal's mobile apps for Apple and Android devices. I'm going to take a quick look at news, sports, and weather for Northeast Mississippi. Let's start with the weather forecast for today. Partly cloudy skies, high of 93 degrees, low of 74, just a 20% chance of rain. The 3-day outlook: Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, high of 94, low of 74, 20% chance of rain. Warming up a bit more for Thursday, mostly sunny, high of 98, low of 76, 10% chance of rain. Friday, partly cloudy skies, high of 98 once again, low of 77, 0% chance of rain. Let's take a look now at some of the top stories from the Daily Journal and djournal.com on this Tuesday. Legal sports betting could be coming to Mississippi, depending on how the U.S. Supreme Court rules. During the 2017 session, a bill legalizing betting on sports events at the state's casinos quietly passed the legislature. At least that's what many experts contend. The legislation was intended to legalize fantasy sports games, but it might have also opened the door for legalized sports betting at the casinos along the Mississippi River and adjacent to the Gulf of Mexico. Now, nothing will happen unless the Supreme Court overturns a federal law prohibiting all but 5 states from allowing sports betting. That ruling likely won't come before spring, so the state legislature would have a chance to address the issue before then. The primary supporters of the fantasy sports legislation say they were focused on that issue and that legalizing sports betting was not on the radar because it was banned federally. The legislation was needed because of a 2015 opinion by Mississippi Attorney General Jim Hood that fantasy sports games are a form of gambling and are banned unless approved by the legislature. Last summer, Joyner resident Jerry Thompson realized the fresh vegetables he was growing in his backyard were more than enough to feed him and his neighbors, so he hatched a plan. Thompson built an old-fashioned roadside vegetable cart out of reclaimed wood and put it in his front yard with an honor box. The idea was for those living in the Joyner neighborhood to have a farmer's market where they could get fresh produce and leave a few dollars in return. The proceeds benefit the backpack ministry at First United Methodist Church. Last year, Thompson raised $400 for the program, which uses donations to purchase non-perishable food for students in need at area schools. And because of last year's success, Thompson has once again put the cart in his yard on Long Street. The Joyner Market opened on July 8th and has already made more than $100. Among the offerings are tomatoes, cucumbers, summer squash, bell peppers, herbs, and flowers. If the umbrella is up on the cart, that means there is produce for sale. The city of Oxford ran into an unexpected issue Monday at the intended site of a downtown parking garage. The parking garage is expected to be built at the site of the parking lot behind High Point Coffee and the Growler. The city has learned that much of the lot was built on what amounts to an unregulated landfill. When city employees were digging Monday morning, they went 20 feet below the surface and reported garbage was present the whole time with no bottom in sight. Now, decades ago, that area was a massive ditch where businesses on the square would discard trash, used packaging materials, and other debris. Tom Sharp, who chairs the Downtown Parking Commission, isn't sure how this discovery will impact the parking garage. He said he'll have to coordinate with city officials to gauge their opinion on the matter, and he will check with the city's engineering department to get a better idea of what this means. And in sports, Mississippi State picked up a big basketball commitment on Monday. 5-star forward Reggie Perry announced on Twitter that he intends to play for the Bulldogs. Perry originally committed to Arkansas last August, but withdrew that commitment on July 5th. The 6'9" Perry is the son of former MSU player Al Perry. The younger Perry told 247sports.com that MSU was always a contender for his services before his Arkansas commitment, and they kept recruiting him hard after he decommitted. Perry, who plays for Thomasville High School in Georgia, is rated the #1 prospect in his state and the #4 small forward in the nation. He's the first commitment of MSU's 2018 class. That does it for Newsbreak on this Tuesday. First, I want to remind you to check out a webcast that we produce here at the Daily Journal, Capitol View, with Capitol Bureau Chief Bobby Harrison, coming to you live every Monday at djournal.com. Catch it live at 2 p.m. or the replay later in the day. And on this week's episode, we talked about corporate tax collections as well as the sports betting issue. All the stories I talked about today you can find in your daily journal or at djournal.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at djournalnow. Give our Facebook page a like as well. That's it for Newsbreak on this Tuesday. I'm Brad Locke. We'll see you next time.